I'll start, though, while the slides are still coming up. I'm Dhruv. I'm from the uh, Internet Architecture Board. I'm also the industry standard expert at Huawei India. This is my first time here. I'm very glad to make it. And let's talk about from the standard side, from the ITF, basically what's happening in this space. So before I start, let me just talk a little bit about ITF itself. ITF, basically our mission statement is we want to make the internet work better. I think something that we can all agree that that's a thing that we should all strive for. But our focus is very limited. We focus on a high quality technical documentations only. We do not actually run the internet. That's you guys, the people who are actually deploying and running the networks. That's where the internet actually exists. But our focus is we have the best understanding, the technical understanding on what is the best way to run the internet. Our focus again is only influencing. That's the keyword again there. Influence how the people design, use, and manage the internet. And it's up to the vendors to finally see that, yes, the internet standards that the ITF is producing is worth implementing. Operators deciding that, yes, they need to run in my network, and users getting the benefit of those protocol. Some of the important ethos at ITF: anyone can participate. We do not have a membership, so all you need is an email address. And by having an email address and joining a mailing list, you become part of the ITF community. Another unique thing, all our outputs is available for free. You don't even need an account. All RFCs, all internet drafts, all meeting minutes, all information is readily available. So it's all information is out there. Come and just join and participate. Another key thing, we look at our contribution with technical output only. Everything is judged what we call as rough consensus based on technical inputs. It doesn't matter who you are, who you work for, who you speak for, which country you are. None of this matters. Only technical arguments are put forward. And as a chair, and I chair a couple of working groups like segment routing over IPv6 and PC. And when we are judging the rough consensus, our focus completely is on the technical merits of the proposal only. ITF is completely open, it's transparent, it's bottom up, rough consensus driven body. So I just wanted to introduce, I'm here for the whole event. If you have any questions related to ITF, I would love to answer and hope to see some of you from this part of the world to come and participate in ITF as well. Just to give you an idea, ITF works in a huge set of things, starting from the infrastructure, something that we have been talking about, IPv6, IPv4, network time protocol, everything that is the core of the internet. Then we do routing. How do we connect those network? BGP, routing protocols, OSPF, ISIS, segment routing. All of this routing stuff happens on the next layer. Over that, we do web and internet transport, things like TCP/IP, QUIC, and HTTP. Over this, Zoom, WebRTC, SIP, all the application layer protocols, things like calendar as well, because we need a clear standards for all of these to works. And the two pillars on the side, which is irrespective of where your protocol lives, you need to have security. As we just talked about, security is key. All our protocols across the layer need security, and you need to learn how to operate and manage your network. So that's why ops area and security area are the two pillars across this. Of course, we work with a lot more organizations, the link layer, IEEE, 3GPP, things running on 5G and 6G. And similarly on top, we work with W3C, which is web-based standards, and OSS, etc. Now, we talked about the journey. Now, AI has coming, but it's good to look at the history. The computing world has gone over multiple revolutions. We had mainframes, then we moved to PCs inside our home, then we moved to PCs inside our pocket, the mobile computing. Then we start putting things up in the cloud. And finally, the new thing that we hear is AI. But the fundamental for all of these things have been the same set of protocols, the same TCP IPs, the same IP stack, which has been able to meet the requirements of every revolution over and over. Now in the AI era, again, we need to make sure that the IP protocol that exists is able to meet those requirements. And we have various different technologies that are ready to do that. Things like segment routing over IPv6, which I will talk about, as well as network slicing coming from originally from like at ITF also, we are doing a lot of work on that, and also 3GPP. We have autonomous networking. How do we manage our network better? And finally, we need to have more bandwidth, and that's where 400G and 800G comes in. IPv6 is the bedrock over which we want to do all of these future innovations. IPv6 is like, let's connect everything because we have a massive address space. Every IoT device, yes, let's have an IPv6 address for that, but it gives us good reachability. We have been able to connect the world. We have been able to connect everything, but it's still best effort. So if you take an analogy on that, yes, I laid out the road network, but I still get traffic jams. And how do I improve that? By having innovations over IPv6, things like having your Yandex map and Google map. That is, on that road, I get a full visibility of what path I'm taking. I have a good navigator who also lets me know where the congestion is, who also know which road is suddenly blocked. That information is very important, having a navigator in place. Secondly, think like having a dash cam on your while you're driving, who is continuously monitoring how your network, how your device is functioning, which is like having good measurement in place. Finally, having dedicated lane for emergency vehicles, for buses, that's like having network slicing. And self-driving car and AI, that's the future. That's the thing that we already are seeing some companies doing work on it, and that's the direction where things are going. And IPv6 enhancements are basically things over which all these innovations are happening. And SRv6 is the base on which we have been working. I chair an SRv6 operations working group at ITF, where we hear a lot of stories from operators who come and tell us how they have been using SRv6 in their network. The main key thing, yes, it has simplified. It has given people flexibility, especially in which how they interconnect their networks. Having the 128-bit IPv6 address and playing with it to add network instruction, what we call network programmability, has been a game changer. And people have done a lot of innovations with the IPv6 address space as well. And finally, merging application awareness in the network, that's the innovation direction that are also being discussed at the ITF. As far as standardization is concerned, there is a lot of works on architecture, data plane, control plane, OM. All of these are RFCs. That means the standards are sort of ready. A lot of vendors already supports it. It has already been deployed. As I was just mentioning, we also discussed in the operations working group how the deployment has been working, a lot of interoperability testing. The key message here is SRv6 is already here. It's mature. It's being deployed across the world. And it is able to meet a lot of the new requirements coming in the AI era already. But all of this needs data. And even at the data layer, there is a lot of innovations. We have continues to move from 400G to 800G to 1.6T. Every time there is more speed coming in, we also taking care of power consumption. That is, we are able to move huge chunk of data that is needed in the AI world at a right cost and at right speed. And finally, coming to the topic of AI, which is the hot child, and talking in terms of the infrastructure is already there, but at ITF, we are also looking at other problems related to AI that we are solving. We have a working group called AI Preference, which is specifically talking about how various different content that we have, how do we tell or signal to the AI crawler whether that data should be used, should be ingested by an AI for learning and inference or not. So we are developing a vocabulary for that, as well as developing mechanisms for content owners to signal what is their preference with respect to AI use. A very unique use case, very timely use case where a lot of policy discussions, we have participation from AI developers, from legal, from copyright folks, from people who are doing research. So this is a very important problem, which is very timely that ITF has been working on. Another key thing in AI world is also making sure whatever we do is sustainable. And we have work in ITF, which is first focusing on the measurement aspects, which is in the green working group, that we have the right way to measure how our energy consumption is happening. We have research group in our sister organization, IRTF, which is looking at a multidisciplinary way of research questions with respect to sustainability. I'm part of the IAB, and in IAB, we also have a program that is looking at a broader question with respect to sustainability. We have a lot of new work. We heard about AI agent. In the last ITF, we had side meetings around it, how agent-to-agent communication can happen, how agents may discover each other. So a lot of standards work are being proposed in the future AI agent as well. With AI, another thing is maybe our data center networks needs to change. We should have mechanism for fast notification, for able to handle the scale that we are talking about. So there are proposal on changes in the networking. Similarly, because of all this AI, how do we run our network? So using AI in network management, that is also a new work at ITF and in IRTF that is being discussed. So I just wanted to give a flavor of not just in the SRv6 and IPv6, AI is also bringing in, and ITF is continuously looking at new ways to solve the problems that we are facing in the emerging technology world as well. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk about ITF as well as SRv6. Thank you.